this thought came in my mind where I felt like God always have a plan B when we have failed to fulfill the plan A. So I believe that I failed the plan A, but hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Mervy. In case you're new, you're definitely welcome here, so make sure you stick around by subscribing to the channel, like today's video and leave me comments. Today's video, I wanted to do another faith talk video. I did one of them last week and it just felt great, so I was like, I might start doing this, you know, here and there whenever I got time. But here is another faith talk video, and today's video I will not only be sharing my own personal testimony, but I'll be attaching it to Abraham's story from the Bible. So here is the story. In 2020 I lost my dad, which is also another subject, but since it was November, this is the month that my dad passed, so I wanted to talk about grieving. It's been 3 years this November, 3 years since my dad passed, and yeah, it's still a little bit a very emotional subject when I talk about it, or even when I think about it, because I wanted to do a video about grieving last time, and the way I just started to cry, I cried I think for an hour, and then I couldn't do the video. So yeah, but I lost my dad. But prior to losing my dad, there were these kind of dreams that I was having. I remember like beginning of 2020, people started, you know, COVID, and then there were a lot of like people dying from COVID and everything. It was just like a hard year for everyone. And I had this particular dream, I think in the month of October, if I don't mistaken. It was around October. I had this dream about, in the dream it wasn't my dad passing or anything, but I dreamed about my grandmother, who also passed just 2 months ago. My grandmother was telling me like, this is the time for you to go back and work with your dad, because my dad and I had a project we were working on. Like, we were working on it on the phone, over the phone, talking about, you know, investing into something, some kind of business we were talking about. So my grandmother tells me, this is the time you need to go back and do that business with your dad, because your dad is not going to last forever. It's the time to go now. That was the dream. Like, it was a long dream, but I'm just gonna put that resume there. So when I woke up, it was a dream. Weird, right? I called my dad and I talked to him about it, because I usually, whenever I dream about my dad, I will usually call him and let him know this is what I saw, blah blah blah, and then we discuss it. And I even share it with my mom. So my dad was like, okay, let's see what we can do, because we were having these plans and everything. So myself, I was like, yeah, I cannot just leave my job and leave everything and just go and start the business with you, because we want you to start that business back home in Congo, where I'm from. So that being said, I decided to book a ticket to go back to Congo. I planned everything, you know, with my job and everything, what I'm going to do. So I wanted to go back to Congo in February of 2021, and my dad passed in November 2020. So end of October passed. I booked the ticket for, I was supposed to travel, I think it was February the 14th from 2021. I still have all of this in my mind, because so many memories. So I think beginning of November I had another dream, and the other dream, I dreamed that my dad passed. And in that dream, my dad passed, we were crying and everything. And I remember there were this particular place, like, I think it was like a bedroom. When I went up there, I was, you know, sad and everything. That was in the dream. And I saw my dad there, and I was like, Daddy, we are all crying downstairs, you know, you passed and everything. What are you doing here? And then he opened this drawer and everything. He took some papers out, and then he handed it over to me and he was like, I really wish I could give you this earlier. I really wish I could have time to give you this, but now that I'm no more, I can't give it to you. That was the dream. And then my dad, I saw one of my brother coming in, and when I turned, my dad was not there anymore. So I was like, what does this mean? Called my dad, told him about it, and we prayed over it. Told my mom about it, we prayed, and then some of my siblings, the one we usually share with, like my dreams and everything, we prayed and everything. So I just wanted to say, I don't know. And then November the 30th, my dad passed and everything, and all of those dreams started to come in my mind, and sometimes they still do up to today. And I'm just like, what if I trusted God and then, you know, took that plane right away and didn't start? Because my fear was like, I cannot just leave my job like this. I cannot just, you know, I was fearing. I wanted to plan everything, so I started to plan, oh, maybe if I go in February it can work and I can explain this and can do this book. I was like planning book a long vacation and everything. But today when I look at this story, I look at these dreams, and I'm like, what if I trusted God and really packed up everything and did what he told me to do? Because I don't think those dreams were just like, you know, were just random dreams. Because for him to say, I wish I could have given this to you earlier, I wish I could have been there to give it to you, and then I'm not here anymore, that dream was just like, when my dad passed. And I'm gonna talk about like the story when my dad passed and the grieving experience that I had in another video, but this video particularly, I just wanted to attach this story with Abraham's story. Because most of the time when I studied, you know, after my dad passed and everything, a year later, I went through a lot, through depression, through so many things happened to me. Maybe 2 years after my dad passing was crazy. 2 years, you know, I was crying every single day. Those 2 years, it was tough. It was really tough on me because I was just feeling like I have no future anymore. I was just feeling like I didn't answer to God's call. And what am I going to do now? You know, I had this plan with my dad. Who am I going to trust to do those plans with? And like, it was just a crazy moment for me. But I wanted to attach this story with Abraham's story. God tells Abraham, pack everything, you know, with your family and go where I'll show you. And when I look at that story, I'm like, Abraham had, like, what kind of faith did Abraham have? You know, the kind of faith where God tells you something and you just you know this is God. You have the discernment that this is the voice of God and I'm gonna follow the voice of God. Because when I look at it in today's generation, just my personal experience with those dreams, I couldn't just pack everything and go, you know. I don't know, like for you, if you had those kind of dreams, would you just pack everything and go? I don't know, but I just feel like sometimes God speaks to us, but we can't understand what he's trying to say, or sometimes we don't have the discernment of what he's trying to tell us. But for Abraham to have that kind of, you know, deep faith in God, just packed everything and moved, that story is just like, I don't know, it catches me all the time. I've read it multiple times to kind of understand like what type of faith that this man, like, did this man have, like what kind of relationship he had with God, you know. And most of the time that experience really brings me brings me to want to be more closer to God, so that I can start to understand when he's telling me things, so I can have the discernment when he's, you know, he's telling me or he's telling me something to do, and I personally, I don't know what to do, but I just want to be closer to God, deeply closer to him, so that when he tells me something, I clearly know that this is God. This is not like, you know, my own voice. This is not my own thoughts. This is God talking to me, and I should follow his will or his way for me, you know. And I just wanted to encourage someone to really have a deep relationship with God. Like, seek God, you know, seek him, because the more you seek, I think the more you get closer, the more your relationship with him just gets, you know, better, and then you start to understand when he's talking to you. Because even people, like if you met someone today, you will not just know everything about them or you not understand them, but the more you live with someone, even in marriage, the more you live with your husband, your wife, you start to understand them more. Sometimes they'll say something, you already know this is a joke, you know, this is not a joke, this person is serious right now, because you know them better. And I just wanted to encourage someone, have a good, like a deep relationship with God. It will help you to know him better, to hear his voice clearly, and to hear when he's telling you to do something, because you might be passing for something God wants you to do. But up to today, I have sometimes regret from not doing what I was supposed to do when I had this dream, like you should go now, and I didn't go. But in my heart, when I was praying about it, I just felt, yeah, sometimes when I had a lot of regret about it. But this thought came in my mind where I felt like God always have a plan B when we have failed to fulfill the plan A. So I believe that I failed the plan A, but the plan B is still there. You know, God is still going to do something great with my life. Even if I missed when he talked to me to go, I know that other plans are ahead, and God is going to, now that I'm trying to, you know, to go deep in my relationship with him, God is really going to help me with that. So just encouraging someone, you know, pray, get deep with the way you're seeking God, so that you can have a closer relationship with him, just like Abraham did. So when God will tell you to do something, you will do it. May God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed today's faith talk. Don't forget, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.